What is good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch and Gaming News video. Today we have a lot of great topics to go over, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So Resident Evil 7 worldwide sales topped 3.5 million according to Capcom. So Resident Evil 7 Biohazard sold 3.5 million units across the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Capcom's latest financial results have revealed. Monster Hunter Double Cross, which is only available in Japan, sold 1.7 million units. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One re-release of Resident Evil 6 sold more than 1 million units. The Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and Monster Hunter Double Cross sold less than expected. 4 million and 2 million units were expected respectively. Capcom said the former gave overall solid performance and the latter is off to a promising start. Dead Rising 4, which was projected to sell 2 million units, underperformed at less than 1 million units sold. Monster Hunter Stories, which is currently available in Japan and due out to the West in the fall, also underperformed. So this is some interesting sales numbers here. Obviously we have the expected Resident Evil and Monster Hunter doing very well, although I do think that with Resident Evil being as good as it was and how everyone complained that Resident Evil 6 wasn't this or wasn't that, the fact that they've only sold 3.5 million with an install base as big as the PS4, Xbox One, and PC combined, I don't know. I think they put a lot of effort into something that was actually a really great game, but people just didn't pick it up enough. I do feel that it's time for Capcom maybe to expand a little bit more to an audience that's not there. Obviously you see the Nintendo Switch that's doing very well, so I think they're going to accelerate plans for Resident Evil and other franchises to come to the Nintendo Switch, because as you see here, Resident Evil 3.5, which is very good, don't get me wrong, but I would think that it would do better than that considering how good the game was, considering how everyone said it needs to go back to its roots, and it did that, yet only 3.5, underperforming what they expected, especially considering that huge install base of the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And Monster Hunter, of course, doing very well for just being, once again, another port with enhanced content in there. Dead Rising, once again, underperforming. Is that franchise going to be gone from this point, or what are they going to do with it in order for it to do better than it did? Apparently, it was okay. It reviewed fine, but the fact that it's not selling, there definitely needs to be something that they need to do as far as that franchise goes. So we'll see where it goes in the future. All right, I'm moving on to the next article here. Tatsumi Kimishima, the president of Nintendo, has nothing to say about the Super NES Mini right now. So speculation about Nintendo bringing out a Super NES Mini emerged last week. The Wall Street Journal reporter Takahashi Mochizuki was able to ask President Tatsumi Kimishima about the rumor at the company's financial results briefing today. Though unsurprisingly, he didn't have much to say. Kimishima simply said that he has nothing to talk about at the moment, or nothing to talk about right now. So that's an interesting answer that he gave, because people are saying that this confirms that there's a Super NES Mini, but I think with the cancellation of the NES Mini, and now with the whole rumors that are coming up with the Super NES Mini, I think it's pretty apparent that Nintendo's going to do this. They saw a huge response that the Nintendo got, but imagine the Super Nintendo. Many people consider the Super Nintendo to be Nintendo's greatest system of all time when it comes to software, when it comes to everything, just total. When you talk about gameplay, innovation, sales, software, totaling everything, many people consider the Super Nintendo to be the best, myself included. So if they were able to do a Super NES Mini, I would definitely want to get one, but I do feel that they're going to handle it a lot different than they handled the NES Mini. One, they're going to make more of them. Two, they're going to be more expensive. That's something that I know they're going to do, because the NES Mini wasn't necessarily worth it for the price that they were charging. The Super NES, now they know that people want this type of product, even if it's going to be more expensive, because people were buying it for crazy amounts on eBay. So this will happen. It's going to be more than $60, and I'm going to pre-order one when I can. So let me know what you guys think about this and his comments in the comment section below. Alright, I'm moving on to the next article here. Nintendo has revealed a ton of information and has talked a lot about ARMS when it comes to the origins of the game, future fighters, game balance, accessible but deep, and much more. So this was in a recent interview with Edge, and I'm going to go over some of the things here, not everything. So let's talk a little bit about the core concept of ARMS. I wondered if there was any way to make ARMS a little more accessible as a fighting game, specifically whether it would be possible to replace the elements that make up a fighting game with something more visually intuitive. For example, instead of having an opening in your defense during or after an attack, we have an arm extension and retraction mechanic. And instead of strong and weak attacks, we have light but fast and slow but heavy weapons. Now here is this on additional fighters, because a lot of people have been complaining that they have not revealed enough fighters at this point, and here's what they had to say on the matter. The fighters we've announced are just a fraction of what's to come. We'll be introducing fighters all the time with all sorts of abilities. Now more on the game balance here, in addition to the vast number of possibilities that you can get from different combinations on the left or right arm, if you include the advantages and disadvantages incurred in the stages as well, then it's not practical to balance everything with just a handful of designers. To cope with this, we designed some systems to calculate the battle results of all the developers, as well as a system for the AI to battle itself all night. On motion controls being recommended, but not required. The true feel of ARMS comes when you're holding both Joy-Con controllers in the thumbs up grip. You can throw punches from each hand with real precision as you dash or jump around, allowing for a lot more depth for your fighting style. It's possible to throw a straight punch as feint for your first blow, then curve the second punch to where your opponent runs to. The ARMS doesn't require you to use motion controls. I hope people will pick the playstyle that suits them, on having appeal to different types of players. I don't actually consider fighting games to be a niche genre. There are a lot of big games and a lot of titles that are prominent on the esports scene. It's fiercely competitive genre. We designed the appearance and systems of ARMS so that people can feel like it's a kind of game that they would want to play too, by making it so you could see the trajectory of your arms, by reducing the amount of things you have to memorize, and because we are using motion controls, we worked hard to make sure that while you can play simply by waving your hands, you couldn't win against a good player by doing just that. Making games accessible while still maintaining plenty of depth is a never-ending problem in video game development, and we have taken on that challenge with ARMS as well. On wanting ARMS to be a franchise and having the game spread, it would be like a dream for this to become a franchise spanning decades, but right now only a small number of people in the world know about ARMS. Those who closely follow new games and technology. First, I'd like those people to play ARMS, then have fun with it. This game offers a brand new playstyle, brand new characters, brand new strategy gameplay. So this is some fantastic stuff from Edge as far as this goes, and it looks like Edge is really liking this game based on what they heard about it. Maybe they got to play a new build or a demo of it. Obviously there's going to be more new characters, which is always good. Like to see that Nintendo is going to put more characters in there. When it comes to the motion controls versus the button controls, this one I'm a little bit torn with. I have not played the game at this point, so I really don't know like which one is better, but it does seem like with this type of game, because you can have that finite, like, precise movement with curving your punches, it might be better to use the motion controls, although the standard controls will probably work fine too. I think there'll be people who'll be able to play just as well with the standard controls and the motion controls, but it could be more intuitive for more people to jump in, but it really just depends. For me, I think I'm going to try out motion controls first, and then if the motion controls necessarily aren't good, then I'll do the standard controls, but I'll probably do both of them. But this game is going to be insane to try to stream. Like, imagine the type of strings, imagine the type of online play that you're going to get with ARMS. It's going to be really crazy, and I'm really happy that Nintendo has taken the initiative to make this type of game. It's something completely different. It's something that's just new. Nobody's really ever come up with this type of concept in a game when it comes to a fighting game. Like, it's like Punch-Out, where you're like behind the back, and then all of a sudden you have to curve punches with motion control. That's insane. It like destroys Wii boxing. So let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. I'm moving on to the last article here. Tatsumi Kimishima has reiterated multiple times that there will be more unannounced Nintendo Switch games on the way that will boost Nintendo Switch sales. The Wall Street Journal reporter Takashi Mochizuki once again is sharing new comments made by Tatsumi Kimishima. During the company's financial results briefing today, Nintendo's president said that more unannounced titles are planned that should boost Nintendo Switch hardware sales. E3 less than 2 months away, many people are pointing to that. However, I do feel that it could come before E3. I think there's going to be announcements before then, but what type of games will they be announcing? What are they going to have for us at E3 and even before then as far as new games go? Who knows? But we do know that there are going to be games in Fire Emblem. There could be an Animal Crossing game that they announce before E3 or at E3. Metroid is definitely something that they could be announcing at E3. F-Zero is another franchise that they do have in their back pocket. They have tons of different IPs they can go into, and I think with the Nintendo Switch being a success, some of those that were maybe being in development but necessarily not 100% greenlit at the time will be, just because of the success of the system. Nintendo also talked about spending more on marketing, which could affect their profits a bit, but that's okay. Just market, do what you got to do. The system is selling. People like the concept and like the games that are coming out for it. But I also think that these games that he's talking about could be third-party games as well. We don't know too much about the whole Mario plus Rabbids game, which I do feel is going to be happening. I'm going to have a whole nother video talking about my theories about that game or what I think they're going to do with it. Obviously, I don't know anything about it because it's not confirmed or real, but I feel that game's going to be happening, and I have some concepts that, you know, that I think that might be cool in the game if they were going to do something that crazy. So what games do you feel Nintendo could announce? I already discussed how I feel that there could be Luigi's Mansion and Metroid in one of my previous videos. F-Zero is a possibility. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you ninja for the next video. Peace!